I'll tell you guys what's going on. Basically, I've been trying to do this interview with Marcus. He's Markeedragon. He does like YouTube gaming videos. He does like different style. Like he's you guys know how I do like the theorycraft stuff, and I do a little bit like kind of like the concepts behind games. He kind of does that, except he's not like so driven to one game as much as I am. He just kind of takes a look at how games work financially and within the game themselves, and it's a little bit different. And I really enjoy his content. I've been watching his videos for like many years now. And anyway, so he gave me a YouTube PM. He wanted to do an interview with me after killed Inferno Diablo, like several days after at least. And I thought it was awesome. So we were trying to get that to go through, but we've each of us is pretty busy. Like we have pretty different schedules at the same time, so it's hard to get that to work. But it looks like we're both finding time today. The only issue is I got up real late today, so because of that, we'll have to do it live. So hopefully you guys enjoy what we're going to show you guys. It's just going to be an interview between Markeedragon and I. He's going to be the interviewer. I'm the interviewee. So probably I'm going to be answering a lot of things that you guys already know if you're an avid stream watcher. But at the same time, maybe he'll ask different questions because he's got a different perspective. That's what's interesting about the situation. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, and everyone gets a couple tips, a couple new infos. So
Right.
tell us a little bit about yourself, so everyone watching, at least on my end, knows what kind of
Sure.
content that you put out.
Sure. So I'm Markeedragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and I have been in the video game industry since 1997, making a living, self-employed. And so one of the things that interests me is how Kripp is, looks like maybe he's making a living on this as well. So let's see here. Started out in Ultima Online, did a lot of MMORPGs. Now I do a lot of consulting in games for like the Real Money Auction House type stuff, and have my own YouTube channel where we talk about that kind of stuff all the time. Hmm.
And you've varied up your business quite a few times, haven't you?
I have,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gone through many changes. The brick and mortar world seems to go through changes about every 7 years, but the internet seems to go through it about every 11 months.
Mm-hmm.
Much quicker cycle.
I guess so. I guess so. I haven't really gone to the business side of things. I'm not particularly ambitious, but I do like to play video games ambitiously. So I'm more of a gamer than anything, and I've realized if you're at the top, you have some opportunity to make this work a little bit past that. So that's what I've been doing.
Right. So, uh, so let me. So I got some questions for you.
Sure.
So tell me a bit of the history of you with games. I know you say you like to play games,
Hmm.
but you know, where did you get your start?
Well, I think the first games I was playing was like when I was about 4 years old. My dad, he's an electrical engineer, so he had the computer at home like 20 years ago, which was a pretty unusual thing back then. And I'd play like Lemmings, and there was this like frog game where you go like lily pad to lily pad, but each lily pad had like a limited amount of time, and they always like
Right,
went up and down. So that thing was like a pain in the ass. But
Frogger.
was it Frogger? I don't know what it's called because it's in Romanian because I'm from Romania, so it's all
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah,
Well, whatever the Romanian translation is.
yeah, yeah. But yeah. So I played that, and I think the next couple games I picked up that were a little bit more on the interesting side, I started playing like the early stage Blizzard games. So when I was like maybe about 7, I was starting to play Warcraft 1, and then a short while later, I was playing Diablo 1, and I really love those games. Like, I was like a 7-year old, and I'd spend a whole weekend playing a video game, and I don't know how unusual that was because I didn't know anyone that did that at the time. But yeah, I really got into it,
Did
and
your did your parents get on you for how much games you played?
typically, yeah, but just whatever goes is pretty it's pretty standard around here. So been pretty good situation. For the most part, I didn't really get too into video games until I think Diablo 2, because like Diablo 2 when it went up and it went online, it was so different for me because I went from you know playing I was playing like maybe Warcraft 2 online, something like that, but it really wasn't anything to brag about. Like, you just get a bunch of units. There's like very little strategy to it, and never got into the StarCraft thing because there was a lot of strategy in that. But Diablo 2 really started for me because I started to understand the connection with people, the connection with the game when it's online, and I really love that aspect. And I think since Diablo 2, I haven't played any game that's been offline. But yeah, I played Diablo 2 um, on release when it was like the original ladder. I know a lot of people don't know about this, but um, in classic Diablo 2, it was like close to impossible to get 99. I don't know what the statistics were back then, but I know right now after a few tweaks, you need to kill like Diablo like 32,000 times to get from 98 to 99. You have to realize like you can like disconnect and die, and if you die, you lose 10% XP, so you lose like 3,200 runs. Um,
My goodness.
and it depends how effective you are at running these, because for some people 3,200 runs is like weeks. So if you disconnect like once every 2 weeks, you would never make it pretty much. And I never got to 99 on classic, but I got my paladin to 96, and I just got that not by playing particularly well, but by being extremely tenacious. I just play every single day, every single moment of the day because I enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's when I really started to get like pretty hardcore into video games, and I started doing like mods of Diablo 2. Like the expansion came out, I didn't really dig the expansion that much. I like to play classic, but I was getting a little bit bored with the game, so I started making like Diablo 2 mods, and I had a couple that were like more or less successful. The main issue was that um, you know, I'd be running a server with my mod that like 1,000 people would log on to, and they wouldn't really have an enjoyable experience because it was my home server, and I didn't really know enough to move it to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and how old were you then?
I think I was like early in high school, so probably like 14 or something.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
yeah. I played Dark Age of Camelot after the modding thing for a very long time, so I'm like 6 to 7 years I played Dark Age of Camelot. I really
oh yeah.
enjoyed that game. Probably more so than any other. I know people are like, it's your first MMO, of course you enjoyed it, but I don't know. I really felt it was something different, and it was a real shame that um, not enough people played that game because, when it comes to an MMO, the community is a very large part of the game itself uh, compared to, you know, how the game actually works. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what
Absolutely.
moved on to World of Warcraft just because of the population. Like in Dark Age of Camelot, we'd go up PvPing and we killed the same people all night, every night. So it got a little bit old.
I'm sure it got old for them too.
Yeah.
So, in so now that Diablo 3 has come out,
hmm
and I'm sure that were you in the beta for Diablo 3?
yeah, I didn't really get beta access right away though, so
Mm-hmm.
it took us a little while here. And let me rewind this thing here. There we go. Basically, Diablo 3 is one of those games that are pretty big and enough people get beta invites, but at least we haven't been fortunate enough to get like beta invites for every Blizzard game ever released like some other people have. So I was using a website like D2JSP, and people were like renting out their beta accounts for Forum Gold.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we were doing that for like a couple months up until we got our own beta accounts, but that took some time. It really didn't
I,
happen right away.
I did something similar with World of Warcraft. I bought two accounts at over $900 each
hmm
for beta. Yeah,
Wow, that's pretty insane.
yeah. Well, figured I was going to make a lot of money on it.
hmm is that what like typical thing? Like people were actually selling them at a going rate of about 900 bucks per account?
Well, that's what it was for that one. It doesn't. It just depends on the game and everything. And that was Friends and Family Alpha.
Oh, I see.
So that very very early in the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. I actually bought it from the brother of a Blizzard employee.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all in the family there.
Yeah, that sounds a little shady, but
It was. It was. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore, but well, I mean, for beta access, I guess that's not a bad deal. But as far as the other, uh, nefarious things that we did back then,
mm-hmm.
that's old news.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so in Diablo 3, what is the single biggest claim to fame that you have?
Well, I'm sure it's the hardcore Inferno clear. Like we did it. Our plan was to do it before the nerf, and they released confirmation of the patch like the night before. So we had like if we were going at our regular pace, we probably had another like half week to go. But because they pretty much put our deadline in front of us, we just went for it and we did it. We came through and we just cleared Act 4 Inferno on hardcore in like I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so who is we?
It was Krippy and I. Krippy, I met him playing Dark Age of Camelot, and we've known each other for like 10 years now.
Hmm.
And we just like stick together and play video games because we're both like we see the advantage, and we like the fact that we can relate as players and as people, and we can share a lot of the wealth that we have in the games, which gives us a pretty nice advantage on top of it.
True, true. Yeah, I saw in your warm up there whenever you were starting up your live broadcast talking about having all this gold and no place to spend it.
Yeah. Well,
So
well,
is that a common problem for you?
not so much. Like I didn't really play softcore for the last I don't know month and a half or so. I mostly played hardcore, and very recently I got back up trying to get like some of the best gear possible. But the problem is uh, because of all the bots essentially increasing the amount of gold in the system, um, everything is losing. Well, no, the gold is losing value, and the thing is with the mid-range items, they're not really gaining much value because their demand is going down as the game progresses. So that sets up a situation where the best items in the game are getting more and more expensive. So when I have something like 100 million, right now like 100 million is enough to buy you like one piece of like close to the best possible gear in one slot. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like when I have that much gold, I don't want to sit on it. Tomorrow it's
Yeah.
worth 5% less. So
Right.
I have like 7 million less gold tomorrow if I don't spend it today. And
Wow.
I mean I make maybe 20 a day, so that's a big problem.
So it's hyperinflation. That's what it sounds like.
Well, yeah, it's probably like actually I'm gonna upload a video about it. It's I think it's the combination between the number of bots increasing and the number of players decreasing. Yeah, 'Cause
Yeah.
the main problem with the game is that gold is valuable. Like people think that's an advantage. It's an advantage if like bots can't farm it at a faster rate than a regular player can, right? That's kind of the issue.
I did that interview with the Diablo 3 farmer,
Yeah.
and he didn't seem to believe that there was going to be any hyperinflation, um, which tells me that maybe he wasn't as experienced as he let on to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
It happens in every game, no matter which one it is. If it has interaction between players, then there's going to be people who just want to farm it, and the cost of everything goes up.
Yep.
And so, how do you see, you know, you've kind of mentioned this effect that you're having right now with it. How do you, what is it going to look like a month from
It's really hard to say. Apparently, Blizzard is trying to crack down on bots, but that's kind of hard for me to believe just because how easy it is to find out who is botting. Like, they have an achievement that you loot like 100 million gold, and each character in its statistics has like how much gold it's looted. And, there's Like I know people who bought. I know their characters. You can check out these characters. They have like 600 million gold picked up. You know, like that's not even possible with like a regular
Wow,
character. So it's
wow.
for Blizzard to ban these bots is like the easiest thing in the world, and it
Mhm.
just amazes me that they're not doing it yet.
Do you feel though that that they need to collect more data to more effectively identify them?
No.
So it's really just that obvious to you that they should be able to hammer this out right away.
Yeah, I mean, I have like 14 million gold picked up, and I play 10 hours a day every single day. And I'm playing. It's not like I'm crafting for people for 9 hours, right? I'm
Hmm.
actually playing, and I'm usually playing in Inferno. So, I mean, maybe you can get like 100 million gold picked up legit, but when you cross like 200 million, you're really pushing it. I think you can
Hmm.
do like a flat out ban wave and then just like take a look at the complaints and maybe there's one or two in there.
Yeah, the farmer that I interviewed, he mentioned that when he was shortly after the interview, they did do some bans, and like 2 days after the interview aired, and but he said that only a small percentage of his accounts were actually hit.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, he talked about running them 24/7. So what is you know, I guess a regular human just can't do that. Just
Right.
can't run 24/7. Can you see any advantage by Blizzard leaving bots in?
Uh, yeah, I can see an advantage. It's just doesn't apply to most players. So, people who have like top tier items, their wealth in the game increases, and they don't have to do anything because,
Mm.
yeah, like all their gear goes up in value. Like if like there's people out there who have gear in like their inventory that are not using, that's like the best possible or close to it, and that kind of gear is just gaining value, but they don't do anything for that anymore, and that comes at a cost where everyone else with the well not everyone else, most other people with like the mid-range items or the low-end items, which are perpetually losing value, and there's a lot more of the mid-range and the low end, and a lot less of the high end. So it's difficult for people to see that because most people have these mid-range items. They're like, oh yeah, this my item might not be worth 900k today. It's worth like 800k. But the guy with the best items, his items are actually going up at a cost of this. So you know
Mm.
they're they're
But
gaining a lot.
if there's inflation, does that really equal more money? I mean, um,
Well, it's also like the second point is it encourages people to use the real money auction house because the gold is
mhm.
devaluing, but the dollar, I mean, it might be devaluing, but it's not 5% a day. I mean, not yet. So, um, I just, I don't know. I've been trying to get some good items, and I've been looking at the real money auction house, and there's really nothing there. So um, I think there are benefits, but they're not really, paying out for like Blizzard. Because if more people use the real money auction house, the value in that would kind of stay the same. But I don't think people are using it as much anymore. Is the problem.
Yeah. Do you? So have you bought or sold anything on the Real Money Auction House yet?
Yeah, I put up when the auction house came out. I thought everyone just buy garbage, so I put up garbage, and and people actually bought it.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I don't. I think some of it was like people watching my stream wanted to like donate or something. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't say for sure, but I do know like I have put up some items off stream that were like I put up like just blue magic find shoulders, like 20 magic find, like 70 vitality, and I sold this for $20, and I didn't stream that. And
Wow.
but yeah, a couple things. Like I sold like a Justice Lantern for like $250, which is like a level 50 unique ring. But it's hard for me to say who bought these items. I don't know if viewers bought them or anything like that because I also did sell a hamburger for $250, and a hamburger is like a level 30 weapon that's totally useless.
Okay. Well, maybe it's just dumb customers.
Well, I didn't really talk about it too much, like in the videos, but one thing that I had in mind was coming up top on searches. I think the price originally was irrelevant. It mostly mattered um, to be on the top of that search. That's why I put up like Magic Find shoulders, because if it's 20 Magic Find, people are going to look for the most Magic Find. And they were like, pretty high armor shoulders. So I just put those up and, they sold like pretty quick for like 20 bucks. Um, so that's how it works for searches for like rares and blue items. They're usually categorized on armor or on price or on its value. So when it comes to like other items like uniques or sorry, legendaries or green items or set items, they're categorized by price. So that's why I sold a lot of them. Like, I don't think any Justice Lantern in the world was worth 250 bucks. I think maybe like 10. However, when you type in Justice Lantern and you click search, it'll categorize it by price. And I think someone who's willing to pay that much money for a video game doesn't know enough about the video game to actually know which one is better. So I think the price dictated the value of the item originally, and I think I capitalized on that at least a little bit. Like,
So basically, they figured that if somebody is selling it for 250 bucks, it must be awesome.
that and that's the one that came up. Like, if when I put on my Justice Lantern, there's only like seven for 250 bucks. So if someone types in Justice Lantern, I have like 1 in 7 chance of someone thinking they're buying the best Justice Lantern, right?
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, have you cashed out yet at all?
Yeah, you have to send it. Like when you list the auction um, is when you determine where the money goes. So it goes either to PayPal or your BattleNet account, and you have to determine when you list the auction. So it's like I have predetermined that yes, I have cashed out by selling those items that way. But yeah, I haven't like sold anything else. Just like through the real money auction house. I don't typically do like the selling your account when you quit the game type of thing. I just kind of let it rot. I don't really mix
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I'm pretty against that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I've never sold any of my personal accounts.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, do you think though that, like, with your experience so far on the Real Money Auction House, that if you were to work that full time, kind of like you do on your live broadcasts and everything, do you think you could make a living doing that?
Um, I think I think you can. I think you could have made a great living over the last couple of weeks, and maybe for like another month to come. But based on the volume of items going through it, I think it's something that is not going to work out too long term right now.
It's going to become flooded.
No, no,
So,
no. It's like a desert. There's like nothing there.
oh, oh, interesting,
I think just not enough people are buying.
interesting.
Mm.
So, so on the flip side of that, you know, the is this live broadcast and your YouTube channel? Is this what you do for a living?
Right now, yeah, I'm still officially employed at the place I worked like 2 months ago that I took leave for.
You
But
took leave when Diablo
yeah,
came out?
yeah,
That's awesome.
I told them like, I like working here. I don't know if this will work out, but I do want to give it a shot. I want to go 100%. And
Yeah.
if you can't give me a leave for like 2 months, then I'll just quit. So it worked out great, where they gave me some time off, and it seems to have worked pretty well. So I think I'll stick with it. And I haven't really sorted out the second part of the situation, but we'll see. 2 months is approaching.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No, I actually did that too, way back when. It's been a long time though. It was back in like '95
Mm-hmm.
that I said, "Hey guys, I think I'm out of here,"
Mm-hmm.
and got my own gig going. Will you give me a leave of absence? And they did for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I just never went back.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, do you think that how is your viewership on your channel going? You probably had a whole bunch of viewership right when you were making these amazing feats on there, but how has it continued on after that?
Well, typically, actually, people come for the guides. I mostly do like theorycraft. I like number crunch, how the game works, and I usually present my information. I don't really try to keep it secret because
Hmm.
I have more advantages than just figuring out how the game works. Like I play it a lot more and I get a lot more practice, and I think I spend my time within the game effectively. So I'm not really worried about the competition aspect of it. I just, um, I like people when they watch video game videos, man. I mean, when I was playing Dark Age, like the best part about playing Dark Age was like watching other people's videos with like Metallica music and then just like slaying noobs like a lawnmower, you know? That was the best stuff to watch for me. And I tried to pass that on with World of Warcraft, but with with the way YouTube works, it's really hard to do that and do it the way you want to do it. So next best thing, I went with the guides, and a lot of people like that. I like doing it, so I just kept up with that. That's what most people check on my YouTube for. And every like yeah, the Inferno hardcore kill that got a lot of views, but in general the feats are not too impressive to people. You really have to do something extremely out of the ordinary to get views like that.
So primarily, you're offering education, information.
Yeah, Kripp tips.
Yeah. So, do you consider yourself a pro gamer?
Well, I guess I'm. It's either that or like a pro YouTuber, right? I mean, it's one of those. I don't know which one. I just play games.
Well, I actually think you could be both.
Yeah.
So, pro gamer and a YouTuber.
Hmm.
Um, so, and I guess that if you quit, when you tell them that you're not coming back, that's the
Hmm.
day you go pro.
I guess so. I don't know.
So, cool, cool. Let's see here. What's the next game for you? Is there gonna? Do you think there's a lot of life left in Diablo for you, or what do
Uh,
you put your eyes on for the future?
I don't know. I'm the kind of guy that can grind out a game forever. Um, and when I think I'm getting like a little bored, I think probably most people are getting really bored. So I don't think I would mind playing Diablo 3 until like PvP came out. But I don't want to be just playing it by myself. So if the other guys I normally play with want to play a different game, then we'll talk about that. Um, I think Diablo 3 is still a pretty fun game, but I don't think too many people agree with that anymore because it does have very serious end game issues. The next game we were thinking about like going back to World of Warcraft from Mists of Pandaria or trying out something else. I'm not too sure right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few games on the horizon that I'm really excited about that are going to be massive multiplayer.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, well, I think that's about all the questions I have for you.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
unless you got something else on your mind you'd like to talk about.
Well, I mean, not really. I don't know. I mean, you're here, so people are watching the stream. I'm sure some people want to know a little bit more about you, and I'm trying to maybe think of something that I was curious about in the past. I'm not too sure. I know I saw like your videos like early on when you talked about. I think it was like your lawn mowing business when you were like much younger.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, so you just like start from nothing, mow a couple lawns, buy more lawnmowers, hire people to mow the lawns, and just progress from that, hitting the next level. That's
It's called building an empire,
yeah, that's
one
that's
one lawnmower at a time.
that's what I really like to do in like video games. It's like finding a way to either progress in the game or find something to help you progress in the game to help you hit that next level. It's always about the next level and figure out how to get there and executing it in the most efficient manner. And that's what I really liked. That's what I really liked about a lot of your videos, where you talk about these things, and I don't know if you intentionally or unintentionally had these very relevant parallels with video games. I don't know.
Hmm. Well, I can tell you that I have tried to do my passion, uh, through all my stuff. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I was just born this way,
Hmm.
and uh, I can't stop it even if I try. Some of the most difficult periods in my life has been when I've worked for others.
Hmm.
And I can say though that basically, video games, of course, just like I mean, you just have this drive to play games and everything. So do I. And um, So I've been looking for several years, and then in 1997 is when I found that I could actually maybe even make a living
Mm-hmm.
with video games. I wasn't smart enough, talented enough, or anything to program the games or to do artwork for them or the music or design any of that stuff. And so basically, I uh, I just paved my own way when I saw opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and I continue to do that basically because I guess I just don't know any other way. But um, yeah, so.
Mm-hmm. Well,
My next thing is to try and make a living on YouTube.
right, right.
So,
Yes, I saw that. I saw that.
hmm
It's
hmm
pretty difficult to do, but a lot of people
well, I
have
don't.
made it work. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. I mean, I'm not quite to the point of making enough money to where I could call it a living,
Mm-hmm.
but I know I can get there.
Yeah.
So that may very well happen.
Yeah.
I got my other companies going on as well, so I'll keep working those.
There's also about like your website. See, when it comes to like these like third-party websites for like transactions and stuff, like I'm a pretty big fan of like D2JSP. Have you heard of that website before? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that like a RMT site?
Uh, Real money transactions, no RMT is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. It's like a forum where people trade stuff for a currency called forum gold.
hmm
And forum gold is only created when people paid to the website for it. But so many people have done that already to where most people that use the website now just obtain it by trading items. And it was mainly used for Diablo 2 because Diablo 2 would have the ladder system. So, one ladder would come in and you do whatever, and then the whole game would reset 6 months later. Well, this website pretty much came into existence because of this, because um, the people that were really far progressed in one ladder, they wanted to keep their advantage for the next. So, the website expanded, and it's now doing trades with Diablo 3, World of Warcraft, all that kind of stuff. And it works decently well, but I know a lot of people are like unhappy with it. They consider it like cheating and stuff like that. So it
hmm
has some negative to it, but I never really felt that way because um, nowadays a lot more of the stuff is in the open where people like trade on with their friends and stuff like that and have different schemes of doing so. So I mean, in my opinion, I don't think using D2JSP is any different than having more friends in video games or knowing connections or having a different approach to trading items, because a lot of DTJSP nowadays is like Diablo 3 selling items for in-game gold, right? So there's really not much wrong with that. And I know there's a website that goes a step further, which is what your website was about for some time, when it had like the buying and selling WoW gold and currency from all the other games as well.
hmm
Um, I was kind of curious to, um, well, I know the reason why you went away from it because like the games didn't support it. But do you really think that's like a big issue? Do you think the games, like the game companies, should dictate that kind of behavior?
Well, I think that uh, I did. I did make the change. We were the largest forum in the world for buying and selling and trading World of Warcraft accounts,
Mm-hmm.
um, and there was millions of dollars worth of transactions that happened on our site for those accounts. And even though all those transactions were happening, we weren't really making any money off of that. I mean, we made money off advertising, but when there's uh, for as much volume as was going on there and everything,
Mm-hmm.
we maybe made at best about 10,000 a month off the advertising, and it just wasn't enough to kind of pay for all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, at the time, I operated a very large. I had founded a very large game code sales company, and we actually had some of the game companies. We would get in touch with them. We would talk with them, and they would say, "I'm sorry, we can't do any business with you because of this." And so it wasn't, you know, we went on for several years that way, knowing that several companies were just not going to do business with us. And we ran a bunch of numbers, and we decided that what it boiled down to is that our business could survive better and could do more business and be more profitable if we were to actually kill all of this RMT, you know, third-party transactions.
Mm-hmm.
And so made the decision to do that because my biggest game is business.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I'm winning, I'm happy. uh, so, you know, as with any good game, though, you sometimes lose the game.
Right. Right.
I've done that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we made the change, and you know, at the time, I could see the writing on the wall, too, that really it is possible for like Diablo's Real Money Auction House to come out and be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so set myself in a position to actually consult with game companies on that. And because I know all of the fraud issues and everything, because we've been dealing with it for so long.
Right. Right.
And so now I didn't have anything to do with the Real Money Auction House and Diablo 3, but I have had to do with a few other games that are out now that are doing similar things, and working with a couple of companies right now in designing their whole player-to-player transaction system that will allow people to cash out.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Blizzard came in like a bulldozer with
Mm-hmm.
theirs, and I was scratching my head before they even launched it, and I was just going, man, I can't believe they're doing some of these things certain ways, and I don't understand it. Like, how did they resolve these issues and stuff? Because I could really see that it was going to be a problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, I mean, I'll say Blizzard's gotten its ass kicked
Yeah.
on this whole thing, and but somebody had to do it big time, and you know, the games that I'm working with, they're you know, some of them are AAA titles, but some of them are not as well. And you know, Diablo 3 is obviously a AAA title, but just like World of Warcraft compared to the other MMOs here in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
it's so much bigger. It's in a class all its own. You know, it's like AAA plus.
I
You know,
guess. I guess.
so anyway, uh, I guess the best way to put it is that Blizzard is really blazing the trail on this now, and it'll be interesting to see if we can learn lessons from what they've done, because I think that we're going to see this in a lot more games.
You
And
think
it's going
so?
to, yes, absolutely, it's going to become
Mm.
commonplace, and there's going to be, I believe in the future that there's no longer going to be the policing of buying and selling and trading of items outside the game and be a bannable offense and everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
just going to be use our system that is set up to do this and offers you security. Yes, we're going to charge you to do this, as opposed to just a player-to-player thing. So if you do a transaction with your friend, no problem. You
Mm-hmm.
do a transaction with someone you don't know and they do a reversal on the PayPal, there's nobody to bitch to over that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that 5 years from now, it's going to be commonplace. Nobody's going to even think twice about that stuff, and it'll actually maybe even do like what's happened in Korea. I don't know if you know, but they actually used to post, and in fact they may still do it. They used to post in the newspaper daily transaction volume amounts from the game companies of how much they sold in virtual items.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really kind of this public race that everybody would read their newspaper every day to see who's in the lead. And we could very well see that, you know, see leaderboards for the game publishers.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we're going. And Blizzard is taking the hard first step
Mm-hmm.
with that.
Yeah, I don't
So,
know. I see it a little bit differently.
mhm.
Um, I think like incorporating money within the game is okay. I think if you do that, you should have that exclusively. I think um, having two auction houses separately is like a really bad thing
Mm.
in Diablo 3, just because it's a huge inconvenience. Because people like to focus their wealth in one area, not two. And not only that, it's the fact that they have to search for everything twice in a really defective search engine. Um,
Oh.
and the second thing is, um, games get their like value from competition. Like if it has a system where people can compete against each other in a good environment, then it'll be a long-lasting game. But when you can like pay money to instantly have the best stuff in the game, like instantly, I think that's like far beyond crossing the line. I think that's those are the two major problems with the Diablo 3 auction house right now, and I think it's always going to be like a secondary thing with real money transactions, just because of that. It's really hard to incorporate, have it be the only model, yet not be like pay to win. You know what I mean? Like they're very conflicting things. Do you guys
Mhm.
really deal with that stuff very much?
Well, I do know that in the United States there is two schools of thought. There's the school that you should never be able to pay for advantage,
Hmm.
and then there's the school of thought of I don't care what other people think, I'm going to pay for any advantage I can get.
Right.
And or I don't care what they all think, I'm going to make money selling this stuff.
Hmm.
And so it I guess it's a hard place to be, and it's really a culture change. And no matter what you do, you're going to have people on both sides. So I don't think you're going to have it'll ever be just one camp or the other.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty interesting. I hope you guys manage to lock that out and you know make it work in some game because I haven't seen it yet. I don't mind like the third party training. I think it's good. That's why I asked you about your website because I thought what you guys were doing was cool. I'm really into that stuff, but I know that if I participate in it, it'll take away from my gaming experience. That's why I choose to opt out. But I
mm,
don't really have any prejudice against people that choose to play that way. It's just I have concerns with it being implemented within the game, um, especially now that I've seen Diablo 3 try it and uh, be, I would say, not very successful in terms of advancing the game, not so much the bottom line. I think it has been successful factoring the bottom line of the game.
mhm.
Those are my main concerns. But it's pretty interesting to hear your perspective from someone who's in this industry.
Well, I think it's where we're moving toward, whether we like it or not. And the games that don't support it, they're going to continue to have these problems. The solution really is to work with them, with all these people who want to do this, rather than against them. And if you can work with them, you can possibly create a way to have a good gaming experience and allow this, but kind of get it in a more controlled situation to where it has a lesser impact on us, the players.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So definitely an issue, and who knows if that'll ever go away. There's other issues in society that have lasted a long time, and I don't need to mention any of them because I don't need to get any flame wars going on in comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
People tend to be polar about them.
Yeah. Yeah. Understandably. All right.
Yep.
Cool. Cool. Thanks for coming on, man. It's been very interesting. I hope my viewers have enjoyed listening to you, and you guys can check out Markeedragon. He mostly does the YouTube thing. I think you do the streaming thing too. Have you not?
Well, I mostly do the YouTube thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I have been dabbling with some gameplay stuff, and who knows? Maybe I'll give you a run for your money.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see in Diablo 4. We'll do the
In
hardcore
Diablo
race.
4.
Yeah.
Hardcore race.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. We only got 10 years to wait for that.
Yep. Yeah. We should make it. We're okay.
So,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I thank you very much, and all of you guys with all the comments, I've been reading them. Some of you are kind, some of you are cruel.
Yeah, I encourage trolls. I think it's okay to troll if you're funny.
Oh
So
yeah, well you should see what we do to our trolls on our channel.
yeah, funny things.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Everybody can just go on my channel and look up Deqa, Deqa,
Hmm.
and see what we did to him. We got somebody to talk special to him
Mm.
on our channel. It's pretty funny. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yep. Take care.
See you guys. All right. Well, that was Markeedragon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'm a pretty big fan of Markeedragon. You know, I'm not like, man, can I get your signature kind of guy, but I think the kind of content he puts out has a very unique perspective, and it really gave me a more complete understanding of many games with it. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, go check it out.